I'm going to get this right out of the way before I start anything else. I am not the definitive position on any of these Pokemon actually being good Pokemon. I am not a Pokemon expert. I have never really played competitively. I mean, I've played the TCG with some friends and like my brother or whatever, but I don't play competitively. I don't actually know what the value of these cards are in a competitive sense. I'm going based off how much I like the Pokemon itself, how much I like the art, the name, and whatever other things that I decide I like or don't like. So let's start. Wordle is a solid B tier. It's a good 001 of 86. I believe it's its number. I like the contrast that you get with the, I believe that's the Prism Tower in the back. I could be wrong on that. And the Weedle kind of on this left side looking out at the Prism Tower. I was never a big fan of Coconut. Just throughout my entire childhood, never really liked Coconut. Beedrill is sick. I mean, it's a bee with drills for hands. You can't get much better than that. Carnivine is okay. I was always a big fan of Venus Flytrap stuff, so this might just be a little biased of me to put it there, but that's my reasoning. Chest Pain is a good starter. That's about all there is to it. Quailodin, I just never really liked the design of Quailodin. I think Quailodin's good as a Pokemon, but I wish they would have done differently with the design. Then again, I'm not an artist, so maybe it's an amazing design, and I just don't know. Chestnut's good. I mean, there's no getting around that. Chestnut is a good tank. It's a cool designed Pokemon. It's a well-designed Pokemon. Back in XY era, I got a Chestnut, one of those breakthrough cards, one of the gold cards. I'll put a picture of it up on screen right now. And I thought that was really cool as a kid, so I always liked Chespin because of that, or Chestnut because of that. I'm talking really fast right now if you can't tell. Vulpix was a big part of my childhood. I watched all the shows when I was younger, or at least a lot of them when I was younger. I always liked Vulpix. I thought Vulpix was cool. Ninetales is in that same area. Not quite as cool as Vulpix. I tend to like the lower evolutions of Pokemon more. Unless there's like a select, like Charizard, for example. Everybody likes Charizard. Anybody that doesn't like Charizard is lying because they don't want to be with like everybody else. Everybody loves Charizard. Ho-Oh is another S, simply because when I was watching Pokemon Indigo League, when I was like 5 with my older brother, and we saw the first episode of the first season, that Ho-Oh flying overhead, we thought it was really cool. We thought it was awesome. Fennekin was my starter in XY, but I really did not like Braixen or Delphox. Litleo is a cute Pokemon. I mean, that's about all Littleo's got going for him. Cute Pokemon, but really nothing past that. Pyroar is dope. I like the design of Pyroar. I like the name of Pyroar. I think the card design is cool outside of just the Pokemon's own design that's present in every card, regardless. I don't like seafood, so I want to put these at D tier. And that's the only reason they're at D tier. Delibird is cool. I always thought it was pronounced Deli Bird, like the bird is an employee at a deli or something like that. I don't know why, but that always made me laugh a little bit. I love Keldeo, probably because when I was younger and I was watching the animes, I would always watch the Beyblade animes at the same time. And not at the exact same, you get what I mean. I would watch the Beyblade animes, and Keldeo remind me of Pegasus, which if you don't know, Pegasus was like the main character's Beyblade. And so I thought that was really cool. Froakie is a good starter. Frogadier, again, I'm not a big fan of the mid evolutions. And Greninja, I mean, do I really even have to explain Greninja? Everybody loves Greninja. There's a reason Greninja was voted like the #1 Pokemon. Burgermart, I honestly forgot Burgermart existed. Avalugg is just Burgermart but bigger. I don't like Wimps, so I'm putting Wimpod at the bottom. Glossopod, I'm pretty sure is this Pokemon's name. This card has an error in it where you're supposed to have 2 lines on the belly, but the designer of this card put 3 lines. And for some reason, the Pokemon's company thought that was a big enough of a deal that they needed to release a whole apology message about that one card, and I think that's really funny, so that's why I like that card. Mareep exists. Flaffy exists. Ampharos is kind of nifty, I guess. Emolga, I think this one is called. I can't really read the names on the top of the Pokemon cards, but Emolga, I'm pretty sure what this one's called. It's a rodent. I don't like rodents. This Deoxys looks like it's dying. This Deoxys looks like it's about to grab you and just grab you by the throat and suffocate you, which I think is scary but cool. This guy's too much on the defensive. I wish he were more on the attack. And this guy looks like he's going straight to your house to molest you. Float, I honestly forgot existed until this set came out. Esper, I like the name, the play on the name with it being Esper and a psychic type and all that stuff. I'm sure you've heard that all before. Meowstic exists. Phantom, it also exists. Not a bad Pokemon, but I just don't really remember Phantom if it's not brought up to me. Trevenant is one of my more favorite Pokemon, which is weird because I don't really know much about Phantom. But Trevenant, goated. And I'm not going to explain any further. Pumpkaboo. My birthday is in October, and Pumpkaboo is pumpkin, Halloween. Boo is scary. Both of them Halloween, both of them October, both of them my birthday. I like anything Halloween or pumpkin related, unless it's me eating pumpkin, because I don't like the flavor of pumpkin. I don't like this Pokemon simply because I don't know how to pronounce its name, and I'm too scared to look up how to pronounce its name. Xavier was the name of my childhood best friend, so that's the only reason I have that there. Sudowoodo is my goat. I love Sudowoodo. The name is amazing. The Pokemon is amazing. Its little dance moves are amazing. It is the best Pokemon to ever be created in all time. And if you disagree with me, I'm sorry, but you're simply wrong. Phanpy is just a baby elephant, and Donphan is just a older elephant, but with tread marks on it for some reason. Baltoy, I genuinely forgot existed until Chaos Rising came out, and I decided I wanted a Master Set Chaos Rising. And Claydol is honestly the same thing. For this Gallade, I'm actually going to have to create a new tier, and I will not be explaining what this tier means. I will not be going any further than that. Zubat, big part of my childhood. It's one of Brock's Pokemon. I liked Brock when I was a kid. Golbat, slightly less cool. I would actually put Crobat above Golbat. We're seeing this this connection here where every time there's a middle Pokemon, I don't like it as much as the fully evolved or the fully unevolved Pokemon. Quailodin exists, I guess. Stunky is an interesting name. I mean, that's about it. Skuntank, I genuinely hate that name. The Pokemon Company was in a different plane of existence when they came out with that name, and I wish that they would have just stayed in that plane of existence. I don't like it. Crocodile is a cool Pokemon. It's a cool card. I like the just overall art for that card. It's nifty. This is a literal bag of trash, and this is a literal pile of trash. So that's about as far as up into the tier list as they can get. I like pronouncing the name Skrelp. That's the only reason I like that Pokemon. It's a fun name. Beldum exists. Metang is pretty nifty. Let's put Beldum down here, actually. And this guy. This guy's a cool guy. I like this guy. He's nifty. Now, with both Ferroseed and Ferrothorn, they would not be any higher than B if it weren't for the names. I just like the use of Pharaoh to significant. I don't know how to word to say that they're metallic. I just think that's kind of nifty. Cobalt, I honestly forgot existed until I wanted to Master Set Chaos Rising when it got announced and all the Greninjas stuff got announced. I like Greninja. Dragon's cool. Dragalge? I don't know how to pronounce that, man. I don't like things that are sticky. It feels weird and it's uncomfortable, and I don't like it. However, that's all I'm going to say. Patrat exists. Watchdog is pretty cool. I like the name. I like the Pokemon design. I like everything about Watchdog except for the fact that it's not Charizard. Tauros, is when I was playing Pokemon Go, Tauros was my highest combat power Pokemon, and that's the only reason I like Tauros, because it was cool in that sense. I don't like rodents. And these just basic trainer cards that do cool stuff, but really are just like, kind of like basic trainer cards. Whatever. Felipe, I like that name. I just like the name Felipe. I don't know what to tell you. Roxy's pretty cool. I'm going to put this red card next to Roxy just to remind myself. Yeah, that works. No. There we go. Transformation Tome. It exists. It's a thing that's there. I always liked fire type Pokemon, and for that reason I'm putting the Nitro Energy up there. I don't know if it actually does anything. I honestly never read that card. Water was my next favorite after Nitro, so I'll just put it right beneath. And I was never really a big fan of the metallic or magnetic or whatever you would call it type Pokemon. This is one of my favorite illustration rares that has been released in recent years. I think that is such a beautiful card. It's just amazing. And same with this Froakie. They're both just such gorgeous cards. This Frogadier is still a cool card. It's still really well designed. I just was never really a big fan of Frogadier. Ampharos, another amazing card. They really need to give these artists at Pokemon a raise and also get rid of scalpers. Maybe just like remove the scalper's scalp, because I want more of this card and I can't get any of these cards. Xavier, like I said, childhood best friend. This is a cool art. Claydol. I don't really like the Pokemon itself. I often forget the Pokemon itself exists, but the art on that card is really cool, and I like it. This Crobat's the same thing. Not a massive fan of Crobat, but that art is just amazing. I love the Pokemon at work style, where you can see how the Pokemon would integrate into human society, similarly to how they probably would if Pokemon were real in our world. I mean, let's be honest, we're capitalist scum. We would use these Pokemon to make more money for free. Or not for free, but you get what I mean. I don't like sticky things. Tauros, another goat. Amazing art. I already talked about Pokemon Go. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Watchdog. It's just the one that I already like, but with a cool art. And I really like that there's the Prism Tower in the background. I think it's a cool card. And for these ones, I have always loved these IRs that are just simple. There's not a massive amount of background. Nothing super fancy has to be done. They're just simple cards with some nice colors that pop and just a simple illustration of the Pokemon up at front. AZ's Tranquility. This card has been evading me like the plague with all of the Chaos Rising that I've been opening, and so for that reason, I don't like it. Emma is the name of my best friend's fiance, and I think Emma's pretty cool, and so that's why I'm putting it there. That is the only reason. I know nothing about the card, and honestly, it would probably go closer to B if it weren't for that fiance. Energy Transfer exists. I like ice cream. I love ice cream. And I already said that I like the name Felipe. I'm going to put the Prism Tower next to the Watchdog simply because it's there in the art and I want it to be there in the tier list as well. Roxy's Performance, another amazing looking card. And I'll put that right there just to remind myself. Same with that. The beach. I love the beach, man. I haven't been to the beach in a long time, but it's such a gorgeous area. And honestly, it has nothing to do with the card itself. I just like beaches. I like wilderness. I like wildlife. I like nature. Tool Scrapper is a card that exists in this set. I mean, is this one is not even a competition. Is this a real is this a real question? Of course the Mega Greninja EX or whatever that is. Of course that's going in the #1 spot. It is like the coolest card to be released in recent times. The only card that I can think of that I would want more than that is the Charizard from Phantasmal, but that's everybody. Everybody wants that card. That's like the grail, I feel like, other than maybe the Gengar. But I was never really a big fan of that Gengar card, to be honest. And even if I was, I can never find any Ascended Heroes anywhere. I try to buy MSRP I try to stay away from paying scalpers for cards because if you don't pay them, then they won't be able to sell the cards. Then they'll go out of business, they'll go bankrupt, they'll go into debt, and there won't be scalpers anymore. So that's my whole philosophy with it. And if I can't find a Sender in a store, I'm not going to be buying it. Floette. Like I said before, I forget Floette exists, but I like the art regardless. Dragage is the same way. I think that's the right pronunciation. I don't like rodents. I'm not a big fan of rodents. AZ's Tranquility. I like the art style. It's been evading me, so it's kind of bumps it down a little bit. It would probably be S if it weren't for the fact that that card has been evading me. And this Golden Greninja. This is probably going to surprise some people, but I honestly would put it above the other Greninja. Simply for the reason that I love those golden cards. They've always been one of my favorites. I want to collect more of them. I only currently have like one of them, but I want to have a binder full of them eventually. That's long down the line, though. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Thanks for wasting 16 minutes of your life with me, I guess.